The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericaempowerment.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I hope that you had a beautiful week and that you have been enjoying all that has been unfolding in your life as we're shifting seasons and moving more deeply into October. I always find it's a great time to reflect. And you can see the holidays on the horizon and the leaves are changing, and it's a great time to really go a little bit deeper. And so what I wanted to focus on today is really looking at masks. And are there masks that perhaps we have in our life that are roles that we wear or we step into, hiding just a little bit of ourselves in the process? And so myself and the experts that we have on our show today, we're going to be talking about this and how to unmask your potential and shine. So I want to welcome our guest, Carolyn CJ Jones. I welcome you to the show.
Thank you, Rebecca. It's great to be here.
I'm glad to have you. And then our second guest today is Linda Jonasson. Linda, I welcome you to the show.
Thank you, and happy Wednesday to you, Rebecca.
Thank you. Happy Wednesday to you as well.
Here.
Have a nice lift in the week together. So that's beautiful. Good. And as we were getting ready for today, I was doing a lot of reflecting, thinking about this mask concept, and I actually had one of my larger women's empowerment events this past weekend. And CJ, I know that you were there, and we had all of these women and all these masks around the tables. And as I looked out into the audience at all of these amazing women playing with their masks and starting to have their conversations, and you know how that energy kind of builds, I looked out and I saw, wow, what an amazing room of talented, dynamic, powerful women that were willing to come together on a Saturday, invest in themselves, say yes to themselves, and yes to unmasking their potential and really stepping forward in a powerful way. And the transformation that took place was really, really amazing in each person's life. But it took this willingness to say yes, this willingness to make a conscious choice to be there, to be fully present, and to saying yes to whatever pull or call was on their heart. And that's what I want us to look at today. And for myself, this was a really difficult journey. One of my biggest challenges and fears revolved around being seen. And so I was really good at acting like everything was okay. I was really good at smiling big, at wearing this mask and uniform in my life. And I would show up that way all the time in my personal life, in my business life. I was a speaker that would fly across the country in the financial industry and would give presentations, helping people with their finances and with their money and making those connections, which I love doing. But I was wearing a uniform as I was doing it. I was wearing a mask. I was the financial person. When I was in human resources before that, and I was helping with different trainings and programs, I was wearing that company's uniform. So I got really skilled at hiding even in the public eye. And when the call came on my heart to step forward in a different way to really share more of myself and more of my personal story and the things I'm passionate about, I didn't know how to do that. I just knew how to play the roles I played really, really well. So I sought help. And I remember having a conversation with someone who became my mentor. And this is kind of how it went. I let them know I felt this call that I wanted to touch people's hearts. I wanted to make a difference. But here were my conditions. I didn't want to speak to more than 50 people at a time. I wanted to make sure that it was a medium-sized audience, not more than 50. And I didn't ever want to be on radio or television. And not that anyone was really asking at that time, but these were my fears in the way I was trying to control my environment and protect myself. And I didn't want to do any writing, but I wanted to make a difference in kind of a medium, safe, controlled kind of way. Can you help me? I want to do that heart connection thing and make a difference. And I remember the person who later became my mentor. There were actually two of them. They were a team. They put their arms around me across my shoulders and kind of moved around so they could look me in the eye while they were still had their arm around me. And they said, Rebecca, I want you to know we don't invest in medium-sized dreams and visions. That's not what we're called to do. And we see a much bigger vision than you can see right now for yourself. And what we're going to ask, because we see that, is that you let us see the vision for you until you can see it yourself. And by the way, if you want to make this heart connection really authentically make a difference in people's lives, you have to be willing to take off your mask. I took a deep breath and I looked at them and I was a little frustrated because obviously they were not honoring my boundaries. But at the same time, I felt that pull at my heart. And you know when you know. And I looked at them and I said, I'm not wearing a mask. I don't know what you're talking about. People know me. I'm traveling around speaking. I'm making a difference. And they said, Rebecca, you're hiding behind information. You're hiding behind content. You're hiding behind your uniform. And unless you're willing to take that down, you think it's shielding you and protecting you, but it's keeping your people from you. It's this wall and barrier, making it so you can't touch their hearts. And the message I received inside as they were sharing this, that if I want to touch people's hearts, I want to be willing to make a difference in a lasting way. Not only did I have to be willing to take that wall down within myself, I had to be willing to lead the way. Lead by example, trust, and share first, creating that bridge for them to connect with me instead of expecting it to be the other way around. And so I leaned in and I said yes. And it's been an amazing journey. The lives that I've been able to touch, the mediums that I've been able to step into, I'm so grateful for. And not only would the people who listen to this show, the people who have been on my stages, who have attended my events, missed out. If I had said no and stayed hidden, I would have missed out on the amazing privilege and honor it is to walk beside people in that way. But what I want you to know, listeners, you have a choice. You get to choose. Every breath, every day, you get to choose if you're going to listen, pause, answer the pull, answer that call, be willing to shine just a little bit brighter, take that mask down just a little bit more, even be aware that you have a mask. I wasn't aware for many years that I had a mask that I was hiding behind. So today, I invite you to take a deep breath with us, literally, and pause for a moment. If you're driving, keep both hands on the wheel, keep your eyes open, For those of you that are able to, I encourage you to actually put both feet on the floor, ground yourself, take a deep breath and put one hand on your heart, one hand on the top of your head or your forehead. So you're kind of bringing in your mind, heart, body, and soul. And take a deep breath again. And I'm going to ask you, ask your heart, ask your mind, ask your body, spirit, and soul. Is there a role or a mask, perhaps, that you've been hiding behind a little bit? Just see what the answer is. And the second question I'd like to ask with that is, what is it you need today from us, from those around you, to be supported and encouraged to take your mask down, to even take it off and let us see more of who you are? Because when we all do that, we're able to step into our potential even more powerfully, because we don't have anything holding us back that we're hiding from or behind. Take a deep breath. See what comes to your heart and mind. What is it that would support you today, or it is on your heart to share? And with that, CJ, I didn't know if you had something you'd like to share with us that came to your heart or your mind, a word or a quick phrase, a picture.
Well, I pictured myself for 30 years hiding behind the mask of my alcoholism and hiding out while I drank at home. And when I finally declared that I was an alcoholic and started to get sober, people were surprised. They were dumbfounded because I had hidden it so well. And in present day, what I have issues with is sometimes I hide behind the mask that all is just fine when I'm feeling a little less than and a little not really up to the task at hand.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And Linda, we have just about a minute, so I didn't know if that would be enough time for you to share what came to your heart and mind, and if not, we can come back after break.
I'll just share a quick bit, and then maybe we can talk about that a little bit more later. But
perfect.
For me, my mask was, I was hiding that my soul actually felt dead. I was hiding that I'd been depressed for so many years that I just felt dead inside. But other people wouldn't necessarily have known that because I did such a good job of keeping that mask on and hiding from everyone, how I really felt from the fears of what we were experiencing and going through at that time. So, yes, it can really, keeping that mask on can really be damaging to your soul, by not being yourself and by not being honest and forthright with where you are and who you are and what you're experiencing today.
Thank you.
That was just a thought that came to my mind while you were talking, and it's such a great topic.
Thank you. Well, we are getting ready to go to break here. So listeners, what I invite you to do is sit in this reflective spot for a little bit longer. And when we come back from break, we're going to be talking a little bit more about unmasking. Now, not just some of the masks that we've hid behind, but what helped all of us come through that and step more into our potential. We'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Success starts here. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com. It's your world.
Join Rebecca Hall Gruyter this fall for a Women's Enrichment Retreat, November 13th, 14th, and 15th at the beautiful Westminster Retreat Center in Alamo, California, in San Francisco's East Bay area. Take time for you and step into your vision in a powerful and sustainable way. This is an all-inclusive retreat in a beautiful and nourishing environment, giving you plenty of time to relax, decompress, and refresh, while having the opportunity to connect with yourself and other heart-centered women on a deep level. To find out more, visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/WER.
You have the power within to achieve anything, be it wealth, balance in your life, getting over your fears and roadblocks, and creating a positive impact on the world. Let Darby Mack show you how on the Powerful, Passionate, Prosperous Woman Show. Darby will bring you the tools and tips that you need to make it all happen with engaging guests and topics that will help you make your dreams come true. The Powerful, Passionate, Prosperous Woman Show is heard live every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time, noon Eastern Time on Voice America Empowerment.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Build your better business. Achieve that goal. Make good on that resolution. The Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed your commercial break and that you had a time to really sit and reflect a little bit about these concepts that are there masks or rules that you may be hiding behind a little bit. And what is it that would help empower you to take that mask down a little bit? And behind the scenes, I was talking with Linda and CJ about this, and they shared, both of them, very much from the heart about what that hiding had done for them. And CJ was sharing just a little bit about when she started to realize she was hiding behind that mask of alcoholism and started to share it and take it down, that people were a little bit surprised that she'd hid so well. They didn't even know that that was a challenge. And so CJ was going to be, and CJ, I hope that's okay with you, our first guest, that I wanted to dig in just a little bit deeper in this and talk about that a little bit more, as well as really dig into some of the wisdom and insight that she has to help us really step into, not only take our masks off, but step into our potential and into our happiness. But CJ, I'd love to do a more formal introduction.
Okay.
Your name, formal name, is actually Carolyn CJ Jones. And is it okay if I call you CJ? I've been doing that in the beginning of the show, but are you okay with that?
Oh, I'm really good with that, yes.
Okay. You're just CJ to me, but I want to make sure that you're okay with that.
I am.
And, great. And CJ is an award-winning author, photographer, motivational speaker, and a transformational life coach. She helps people through adversity to happiness. CJ, I officially welcome you to the show.
Oh, thank you again, Rebecca. This is really an honor.
And CJ, I know that you left the nursing industry. You shared with us earlier in the show some of the masks that you were wearing, and I'd love it if you would share with us a little bit about your why you share the way you do, why you've stepped into writing and speaking and supporting people in going through the adversity and really stepping into their happiness. Why is that work so important to you?
Yes, well, let me set the stage a minute by saying
Please.
that I left nursing and spent 3 years living in a van that I had redone and traveling, working on myself and my sobriety. And one of the major things I discovered and developed was forgiveness.
Mm.
And that became the ultimate key to peace and happiness for me. Then fast forward to January of 2012, and I was at a seminar where I had an epiphany. It was a seminar for speakers and coaches, and I realized I had a valuable message for the world, and that was of forgiveness so that people can be happy. It was clear to me that the best way to reach people was to speak, and the best way to help people was to coach them. So I started training for both of them. As far as my why, I know what it's like to be unhappy, Rebecca, even dying inside. Even though you're putting forward a brave front and a smile for the world. And I know how to get out of that emotional prison to a wondrous place. I've done it. So I do what I do because I want people to be able to leave their happiness behind and to be able to experience that wonderful place where peace, joy, and happiness live. And I happen to know the way out. And I do what I do to transform people's lives.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. And I'm pausing for a moment, and listeners, I encourage you to just let that sink in a little bit. And I thought it was interesting what you were sharing, CJ, about what a pivotal point of that was for you, that you saw coaches and you realized that you could help using speaking, using teaching, using coaching to help people, that you learned the path and you learned forgiveness and then how to serve and lift others up. And I was thinking for myself, that's where I was really called to speaking as well. It was seeing another speaker.
Oh.
So I think sometimes we can miss or forget that we're impacting people's lives every time we share a message, every time we give a hug. Listeners, every time we're showing up and sharing who we are, it can have a huge impact on others. And I can tell you, the people I saw speak on that stage probably never knew how much they touched my life, but I'm so grateful they said yes and were willing to share in that way so that I was able to be touched and impacted. And I don't know if that's a similar experience for you, CJ.
Yes, I'm sitting here shaking my head, yes.
Yeah.
Because they were very impactful. And that epiphany hit me like in an instant, where I realized that, oh my gosh, this is what you're supposed to be doing, Carolyn.
Yep.
This is what you were born for. And all those years, I was a nurse and a caretaker, and using my compassionate and kind nature, and I needed to use them to teach people how to forgive.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
I had another question for you.
Okay.
And it's just an interesting question, so I'll see what your response is.
Okay.
Because I think we're on a journey, and I just want to put this in context, because I think there are different moments we take off our masks in different ways. We're able to step out more powerfully in different ways, and then we discover another layer. At least that's been my journey, not to push that on you or anyone else. And so with that sort of a perspective, would you say that you have stepped into your potential, that you've been able to take your mask off? And if so, how? And how can you help others do the same?
Excellent question. And it's like one layer peels off, and then another one shows up to be peeled off.
Yeah.
It was a process I went through, Rebecca, over a period of years. And that process is what I guide people through in my coaching program. And what I did is what others can do, and this is what I did. I started with willingness, and I became willing to be teachable, willing to hear what other people were saying and to learn from them. I became willing to let down my guard and be my authentic self and to see the world with new eyes. After I went through my period of willingness, and then I kept doing that, gratitude showed up. And I learned how to be grateful for even the difficult periods in my life, the excruciating periods in my life. I was able to locate the good that had come because of them. And then what I did was learn to be responsible and accountable for my feelings, words, actions, and especially my happiness. This was tremendously freeing once I got the hang of this. It took a while. It took a while, but when I got the hang of it, it was the most freeing thing, and it still is. Then I learned to live in the present moment and to stop trying to force everything to happen my way and just let things unfold. And at my fullest potential, my potential unmasked, I became able to have compassion for myself and others. And when I held both of us in that space, it led to forgiveness.
Beautiful. And I think that's something we can be so critical of ourselves and we can be judgmental. So thank you for sharing that compassion, and I would even add acceptance and lovingness of ourselves. I think that's so critical when we're doing empowering work and self-growth in things, is to remember to be kind and compassionate to ourselves. So thank you.
Yes. Oh, you're welcome.
And we do just have a minute or so before break, and I wanted to give you the opportunity to share about your amazing gift.
Oh, great. Well, I have a free gift. It's an article called Claim Your Happiness Today. And it is, in that article, I explore ways in which we keep ourselves unhappy. And then I look at what we can gain by becoming happy. And finally, I offer 2 tips to use right away so that you can step into happiness.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm really excited about this gift. It's a culmination of many years, and I'm just really excited for people to have it.
Thank you. And thank you for making it available. I mean, listeners, I really want you to lean into these beautiful gifts that CJ is making available to you, and Linda's going to share about her gift. And this is part of their way of serving and supporting you to be empowered on your journey. So I really, really invite you to listen to their gifts, listen to your heart, and really explore the resources they're making available to serve and support and empower you on your journey. I want you to stay listening to the end of the show, and I will let you know how to get these amazing supportive gifts from their heart for free. So make sure to listen in, and we will look forward to talking to you. We will look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
We're on Facebook along with some of the greatest minds of the world, and that includes you. Visit us on Facebook at Voice America Empowerment.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
tune in to the Voice America Variety channel on the Voice America Talk Radio Network. Voice America Variety broadcasts a diverse array of topics, reaching a global community. Our experts come from all walks of life, and the topics they discuss are everything from current events, arts and entertainment, leadership, parenting, relationships, self-improvement, career advice, and a variety of other topics. Check us out today. You're sure to find something of interest. Voice America Variety. Talk on today's hot topics.
Join Rebecca Hall Gruyter this fall for a Women's Enrichment Retreat, November 13th, 14th, and 15th at the beautiful Westminster Retreat Center in Alamo, California, in San Francisco's East Bay area. Take time for you and step into your vision in a powerful and sustainable way. This is an all-inclusive retreat in a beautiful and nourishing environment, giving you plenty of time to relax, decompress, and refresh, while having the opportunity to connect with yourself and other heart-centered women on a deep level. To find out more, visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/WER.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you had a great break and got to think about this unmasking discussion that we've been having. And we're switching our attention over. I was talking with CJ, and she does have another tip or piece of wisdom that she'll be sharing with us towards the last segment of our show. So again, continue to stay with us and join us during that last segment. But I wanted to shift gears and focus in on our next guest and just have a little bit deeper discussion. So let me do a formal introduction. And actually, even before I do that, Linda, I wanted to share one of the things I really love and appreciate about you is your energy that you bring. It's positive, it's warm, it's welcoming, and always coming from, or at least it seems to me, this place of serving, connecting, and encouraging. And I appreciate that about you.
Oh, well, thank you. Mm-hmm. Energy is so important. It's an important part of our life.
It is. And then, listeners, I wanted to give you a little bit more of a formal background of Linda Jonasson, not just her energy, which I know you're going to feel on our show here, but she's an international speaker, an author, a coach, a successful entrepreneur, a performer, and actually has many years of experience in the past of being a magician. We were commenting on that before the show. And has discovered the amazing power of not knowing, which is some of what she's going to be sharing with us today. So, Linda, I officially welcome you to the show.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here today.
And, Linda, I love to have you share your why as we're getting into your questions and some of the things we're going to be digging into here. Would you mind sharing with us why this work is so important to you, that you do speak and teach and are a coach and help others in this way? Why is that work so important to you?
Well, it's important to me because, I came to realize that the reason for having the mask was the fear of taking it off. That it was the fear of the unknown. And I learned that through my own suffering, and that I didn't need to suffer the way that I did. And if I could have just embraced the unknown and let go of those worries and let go of the mask and live more of a surrendered life, I would have been able to unmask my true potential, a lot sooner. And it's such an amazing place to be. I am so excited about life. The serendipity has become just magical in my life, having gone through that process. And so I just want to share that with other people and hopefully cut off a little bit of that time for them and let them start to experience it sooner rather than later.
Thank you. And do you mind sharing just a sentence or two more about your story? I know it's outlined a little bit in the bio that they can read, but some people may be listening to the replay or iTunes and not have had a chance to read your bio in more detail. Do you mind giving just a little snippet of some of the journey that you went on to discover the power of not knowing?
How that came to be?
Yeah.
Kind of how that came to be.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I really understand the struggle and the fear of not knowing, but it just had never occurred to me there was power in it.
Mm-hmm.
You see, shortly after my second son was born, it was in about 1990, the real estate market was just absolutely decimated. And we woke up one day to realize that our net worth of $10 million was now a debt of $20 million.
Mm-hmm.
And we spent every day of 17 years working to pay that debt, just never knowing where the money was going to come from. And every day was a struggle for a very, very long time. And many of our listeners may also have experienced feeling dead inside after struggling with something that was difficult for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
So after much thought and trepidation, it became the most important thing to me was to get in touch with my soul again, with my purpose and my passion, and to really feel alive. So I left my career of 30 years, my marriage of 25 years. I sold my house. I moved to the beach, and I began a spiritual quest. And out of that quest, that's what led me to write the book, The Power of Not Knowing. I was inspired to write that.
Thank you. And thank you, Linda. I know that wasn't exactly on your question list here, so I appreciate you being willing to share that with us. And listeners, I just wanted you to know some of that background about Linda, to understand some of the power in what she's sharing with you and going to be sharing with you. So in your book, The Power of Not Knowing, can you explain kind of what that is and how it helps us step into our potential? Because I think it's one of those titles that we kind of pause and try to understand and appreciate it.
Well, according to listverse.com, you know that one of the top 10 fears that people have is of the unknown. And like I said just a moment ago, that it never occurred to me that there could be power in that.
Yep.
And everyone's probably thinking, is there really power in not knowing? I mean, after all, that sounds counterintuitive. And it does. But the answer is yes. And if you can harness the power, it will lead your life to possibilities that you could never have imagined if you just stayed in your head thinking everything through.
Yep.
And relying on what you already know and what you can control. See, the problem is people get stuck there in their head thinking, and they're worrying about what they don't know. And then they miss the opportunity to connect with the divine's gifts for their life. But it doesn't have to be that way. As I outline in my book, there's really two different kinds of knowing. The first one is where we know what we think we know. We all know so many things, you know. We're educated, and we certainly need to be, and we need to know a lot. But it's in this knowing that our thinking tells us all the reasons why our dream won't work, why we can't have what we really want. It tells us all those stories about who we are. It's all about the mask that we just talked about, the stories about what we believe. You know, the stories that have been handed down to us from family, teachers, coaches about what we can and we cannot do. So this is a place of knowing that has many limitations. And it's also where our fears live. Now, the second kind of knowing is where the power is. This is where you're being guided by infinite wisdom. This is where all your creativity can be unleashed and where a life bigger than you could ever have imagined in your own thinking awaits you. But the only thing is, in order to get there, you've got to go through that tunnel of not knowing.
Yes.
And this is where people get stuck because of their fear of the unknown. What's going to happen if I take that mask off? Will my life fall apart? Well, I know I was terrified. I shook every day for 14 months thinking about this whole, stepping into all this unknown that I was stepping into in my life. So people get stuck here with their fears. But in spite of their fears, it requires us to say yes, because we have that nagging, knowing, intuitive sense that there is more to life.
Thank you. And I love...
Make that commitment.
Thank you. And I love how the not knowing is the tunnel or the pathway to stepping into your potential. So thank you for sharing that. Very, very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And we do just have a couple minutes to break here, so I would love to give you the opportunity to share about your amazing gift that you're generously making available to our listeners.
Well, the gift that I have to offer is a series of 5 videos that will share my 5-step formula that I have to embrace their fear and to harness their power, unleashing their greatest potential. So I think it contains a lot of valuable information that your listeners can take along with them on their journey to their highest and best self.
Wonderful. So listeners, I really encourage you to take a look at the powerful gift that she's making available to you, to the series. And I love that we're getting, between the gifts that we're bringing to them today, they're getting an article in written form, they're getting video, so they're getting a lot of different types of support to empower them on their journey. So listeners, you're getting well-rounded support to help you be safe, to realize, I was thinking be safe and then we're fear at the same time, but that fear is an emotion. So you are safe,
right?
You're being empowered. You can go through this tunnel of not knowing to step into your potential and step into your happiness that CJ's been talking about as well. So let me share with you how to get these amazing gifts. I promised I would do that at the end of the show. So here we go. We do have a powerful closing segment, so make sure to come back. But during break, I want you to check out the free radio show gift tab. If you're looking at the Voice America page, it's over to the right-hand side. You're going to see a tab that says free radio show gifts. You simply click on that. You enter in your name and your email address so we can stay in touch, and it'll open up a gift list that you can choose from, including the gifts that Linda and CJ are making available to you today. So please check those out. Really select as many gifts as will empower and encourage you on your journey. And we'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Live up to your fullest potential. This is the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Join Rebecca Hall Gruyter this fall for a Women's Enrichment Retreat, November 13th, 14th, and 15th at the beautiful Westminster Retreat Center in Alamo, California, in San Francisco's East Bay area. Take time for you and step into your vision in a powerful and sustainable way. This is an all-inclusive retreat in a beautiful and nourishing environment, giving you plenty of time to relax, decompress, and refresh, while having the opportunity to connect with yourself and other heart-centered women on a deep level. To find out more, visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/WER.
Now you can take your favorite Voice America radio program with you anywhere. Sign up for our mobile app if you have an iPhone, Android, or BlackBerry. The Voice America Interactive Radio Player, powered by Aircast, gives you the freedom to listen to any of our programs, anywhere, live and on demand. No registration is required. Listen to your favorite Voice America hosts and discover new ones. Download the Voice America mobile app for iPhone, Android, or BlackBerry, powered by Aircast. Visit the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Success starts here. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com. It's your world.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed your break, that you've been checking out those amazing gifts. And for those of you that are listening to the replay or you're listening to us on iTunes, I wanted to let you know how you can also access these amazing gifts. And the most efficient way is to probably go to my website, which is www.yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Again, that's yourpurposedrivenpractice.com, and you'll see a radio show tab. So you can click on that, and right in the top left-hand corner, you're going to see free radio show gifts. And you simply click on that, open it up, and you'll have an opportunity to take advantage of these amazing resources that my generous guests are making available to you. So please check those out and really select as many as will serve you and support you on your journey. And while we were on break, I was talking with CJ and Linda, and we are all, if you heard ever got to hear some of the behind the scenes stuff, we are all very passionate about this subject of unmasking and really empowering people to step more fully into their potential. It's so on our hearts and so along the lines of our calling and our mission to really help all of you step more and more fully into who you are and who you are called to be and the unique and wonderful way that you're gifted. And I wanted to give CJ and Linda a moment just to share one more quick piece of advice with you, or wisdom, or something more that has been laid on their heart to give you today. So Linda, do you mind sharing that piece with us?
No, I'd love to. What I was thinking during the break is that I wanted to share is when you enter that space of not knowing, when you say yes, you're saying yes to the universe, you're saying yes to your source, to God, and surrendering for that guidance. This is when your intuition really starts to show up. If you just be quiet, you go inside, have the stillness, and start listening, you'll hear your intuition. But the mistake people sometimes make is they'll not listen to it or set it aside and start listening to other people who will usually tell them that they're crazy to follow this new dream, or to change their life. This is a big mistake. Actually, most of the time when people have told me that I was crazy, I ended up being on the right track. So it might just be a good sign.
A good indicator.
I would share that, and that really, you just need to say yes. You just need to take one step at a time, and your confidence muscle, will start building, and the fear will become less and less.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you. I appreciate it. I like that, one step at a time. And listeners, something I really invite you to do, and this is a practice we've developed in our shows together, is to pause. And we always do that pause in the beginning. And I really invite you to pause and listen to your wisdom, listen to your inner voice. So thank you, because it is so empowering, and it's such great wisdom and clarity and direction. And we can get those ideas that are amazing that others may think are crazy, but that's just because they haven't seen or fully understood it yet. So thank you, Linda.
Right.
Yes. CJ, did you have a last piece of wisdom or information that you wanted to share with us today?
I do, Rebecca.
Mm-hmm.
It has to do about happiness, and one of the surest ways to find happiness is to forgive others. And one way to forgive others is to have compassion for them, for the wounds that they've suffered. And to forgive yourself, you can have compassion for the wounds that you have suffered. And when you feel that compassion and you're in that space, forgiveness just kind of finds you. At least it did me. And so that's my bit of wisdom. And when you are in this place and you find that happiness, I think it brings hope. And hope is a great acronym. It stands for Hold On, Pain Ends.
And CJ, you know I love that acronym, so I'm so glad you shared that today. Do you mind repeating that in case someone missed it or didn't get a chance to capture it fully?
Sure. It's Hold On, Pain Ends.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Sometimes that's just the piece of hope that we need. So I appreciate you sharing that, CJ.
My pleasure.
And then something that I wanted to make sure listeners knew, that one, of course, we have these amazing gifts. And the other piece is they both have books. So Linda, your book is coming out and it'll be released on Amazon soon. Do you mind giving us the title of the book and when it'll be available on Amazon?
The title is The Power of Not Knowing.
Great.
And it should be out, I would say, within the next 60 days.
Perfect. So listeners, you heard it here. Great. Thank you, Linda. And then CJ, what is your book titled? And I know it is currently available on Amazon, if I'm correct.
Yes, it is, Rebecca. And it's Opening the Gates of the Heart, A Journey of Healing.
Perfect. Thank you. So additional resources to support and encourage you on your journey. And listeners, I hope that you have been empowered and encouraged with our show today, that you've been able to lean in a little bit and listen to that inner wisdom, to be willing to say yes, even if you don't know exactly where all of it'll go. But just that willingness, that choice that you have to say, yes, I'll take my mask down just a little bit further. I'm willing to step forward and be a little bit more me. It makes a profound difference in the lives of everyone around you. And many of us, as we are sharing on the call today, were impacted by someone else taking their mask down, standing up, sharing their mission, sharing their calling. And what I want you to reflect on for a moment is that you have the same opportunity, just as we do, to be willing to share our wisdom, to be willing to share our lives, to be vulnerable, to be authentic, to take our masks down with a desire of helping empower each of you on your journey. And I invite you to lean in to the idea that there is someone in your life, especially if you're feeling this pull, feeling this call, someone perhaps you haven't even met yet, that is waiting to experience more of you, authentically connecting with exactly who you are, your gifts, your talents, and your abilities. May you always, always bloom where you're planted and shine. Talk to you next week.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time and 2 p.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.
Thanks again for listening to the preceding program, brought to you on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericaempowerment.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the preceding program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.